Hey, I'm Stefan. Welcome back to my channel. Now, if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do so that you can help this channel create more videos like these in the future. Don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the reviews and what else you would like to see me review in the future. Samsung recently unveiled the S22 lineup, which featured the S22, S22 Plus, and the S22 Ultra. Should you go out and get one, or should you get the S21? Right now, it was released a year ago, it's 1 year older, but it's certainly not a terrible phone. Now, I've been using this as my daily driver for the last few weeks, and I must say, I am impressed. Now, there are a couple of stuff that are different from the S22 to S21, but basically, it's the same phone. They've got basically the same design language on the S21 lineup as the S22. One of the main difference is the S22 and S22 Plus is 0.1 inch smaller than the S21 series. Also, the battery size is smaller. There's also the brand new 50 megapixel lens and the 10 megapixel 3x optical zoom lens on the S22 series, which should give you some better photos and videos. I'm Stefan Williams at 868 Tech TV, and this is my review of the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus 1 year later.
I'm just a stranger in a crowded place. Me and the cooler and we did, hoping to find someone with a familiar face, so we could fit and celebrate. This is not the time to be alone. This is the time to wind on a bumper. So let's be amazing, be amazing. With no care in the world that we get on bad in here. I want you to.
So most phone reviews usually end with the cameras, because that's what you really came here for, right? Well, mostly. I'll start where most often finish. There are 4 cameras in the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus, and they're the same that you can find in the S21. There are 3 cameras on the rear, a 12 megapixel wide angle main sensor, a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens, and a 64 megapixel telephoto lens with 1x optical zoom and 3x hybrid zoom. The selfie camera is a 10 megapixel wide angle, all of which can shoot up to 4K at 60 frames per second. You can shoot up to 8K at 24 FPS with the wide and telephoto lens. In daylight, photos from the 12 megapixel main camera are excellent. They are rich in detail and have great high dynamic range. Colors are excellent and are some of the best mobile photos I've ever seen. In the past, Samsung has been guilty of oversaturating their photos with extreme processing. They have seemed to correct those issues by toning it down a bit, and in my opinion, they're just about on par with their closest rivals, Apple and Google. Portrait photos on the Galaxy S21 are some of the best. The bokeh effect, or background blur as they call it, is excellent, and Samsung is probably the best right now at edge detection. In low light, this is where this phone struggles. Photos come out much softer, lack detail, and often aren't very good in my opinion. Night mode does improve the details and some aspects of the photo, but it just doesn't do enough. Also, the issue of flaring with light is still very much present, and it doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. The 12 megapixel ultra wide is quite capable, and while it falters in color reproduction, lack of detail, and HDR when compared to the main shooter, it does the job of getting more into your photo more often than not. The telephoto lens is one of the most underrated features of this camera setup. It may not have the 100 times super zoom of some other flagships, but at 10x zoom, it isn't too bad. After that, you're getting into pushing your lock territory and just hoping for a usable photo. 4K videos from the main and ultra wide are excellent for this class of phone. They are packed with detail and dynamic range is high. While it does crop in slightly when compared to 1080p, it's not as drastic as you would think. The 64 megapixel telephoto lens can shoot at 4K as well, but I won't suggest you go past 3x while doing so. There is a super steady mode that's available on the main and ultra wide cameras, but it caps out at full HD. When enabled though, it does smoothen out some of those jerky movements. At just 10 megapixels, you won't be chastised if you didn't give the selfie camera much thought, but it's surprisingly very capable. In the day, photos are very detailed and are quite pleasing. In poor lighting, the 10 megapixel selfie shooter struggles and thus produces very soft photos and lacking in detail. Portraits with the selfie camera are also quite good, but in good lighting. Edge detection and subject separation are near perfect, just like the main cameras. The selfie camera can also shoot in 4K at 60 frames per second. While it does give you more detail in low light, I would suggest going down to 1080p as it just brightens things up a bit. Samsung camera setups are known to be feature-packed, and this is no different. There's your single take mode, which you can customize to your delight, night mode, portrait, usual photo and video modes, slow and super slow motion, pro photo and pro video modes for those who want to go more in depth with their mobile photography and videos, portrait videos, which does an okay job as one of the first to do it, and my favorite, director's view, where you can see every angle from all the lenses at the same time. Samsung has certainly come a long way with their camera capabilities, and the S21 does not disappoint. Samsung has nailed the display with their flagship and mid-range devices for the last few years, so much so that it doesn't end with the phones that Samsung produce themselves. As of 2021, Samsung has been responsible for 48% of all OLED screens and mobile phones, even those of their closest rivals Apple. So it's no surprise that a 6.7-inch hole-punch display on the S21 series is stunning to say the least. Now, there was some controversy with the actual specs of the screen. It dropped down from a QHD in the S20 line to Full HD in the S21 and S21 Plus. Now, by default, if you did enable the 120Hz on S20 phones, it would drop down to a 1080p display anyways. So I guess Samsung thought, why give the option if the majority of users were going to leave it at Full HD to enjoy that super smooth 120Hz refresh rate. Speaking of refresh rates, Samsung said that this was an adaptive refresh rate up to 120Hz. In my usage, adaptive meant 60Hz. So the screen would go down to 60Hz when you weren't doing anything, and up to 120Hz when you were interacting with the screen. So, not so adaptive, right? You can set it to adaptive or the standard 60Hz if you want to save some battery. Colors are accurate, and you can tweak the color settings to your liking by setting it to vivid or natural, and you can also further customize those. There is also video brightness, which enhances your viewer experience when watching videos in dedicated apps such as Netflix, YouTube, and even in your gallery. One of the major advantages of a Samsung device is screen brightness, particularly in direct sunlight. I've complained about other devices' lack of legibility in direct sunlight in previous reviews, but no such issues here at all. Even in the brilliant Caribbean sun, you can easily navigate your phone in just about any condition. When it comes to always on display, this is an area where this phone shines bright as well. Samsung has one of the best in class always on display, and it's even fully customizable. You can have your clock displayed in different styles and colors, or you can even add your own stickers or custom AR emojis. You can also control the brightness of your always on display or leave it on auto brightness. For those late night sessions, there is eye comfort shield to protect your eyes from that blue light syndrome, and extra dim for those late night reading sessions or when you want to look at your phone in those darkly lit places like, let's say, the movies. The Samsung Galaxy S21 is protected by Gorilla Glass filters at the front and on the back. So while I won't advise you to try to see how tough it is, if your phone took a fall, it should be quite fine, so no need to worry about that. Now, while your phone would survive a fall, I find a smooth matte finish on the back of the phone. While it does prevent those annoying fingerprints, does make the phone extra slippery. It is smooth to the touch, but probably too smooth. I'm not one to usually take my phone in the shower with me, but it is IP68 certified, so no need to worry about splash, spills, or the occasional dunk. And yes, that also means dust resistance, which works pretty well. I had a screen protector installed on my S21 Plus and found that the screen protector actually got more fingerprints and dust on it than without, so it went in the trash. The design of the S21 line ushered in a new age for Samsung. While it was similar in some ways to the S20 series, it took everything that was good and made it better. The now infamous camera bump, which melts into the side of the phone, is just beautiful in its simplicity. The slight bump also gives you a point of reference when holding your phone. The camera bump features 3 lenses, while the flash is part of the actual body of the phone. There are 2 mics at the top and 1 on the bottom, which is located next to the SIM tray. this does not include expandable storage, the USB Type-C port, and the speaker grill. The other speakers in the earpiece and does a pretty decent job. The power and volume buttons are on the right, while the left side is clean. There is a trademark Samsung on the back, and that's that. Samsung had built up a bad name in the past with their Samsung Experience and TouchWiz system being buggy, sluggish, and overloaded with bloatware, slowing down their own phones. But since Oneui 3 in particular, I've kinda had a different opinion as they've gotten better with time. With Oneui 4.0 based on Android 12, which is what I'm using during this review, I'm still waiting for the 4.1 update. Bringing with it Android 12's color palettes, updated widgets, better privacy and security, I think this is Samsung's best job yet. So much so that I would quickly recommend someone now getting into the Android world to get a Samsung device, and here's why. For one, Samsung has announced that all phones released from 2019 will be getting 4 years of Android updates and 5 years of security updates. That's even more than the 3 years the makers of Android, Google, is offering to their own customers. How crazy! So one of the first things I set up when I get a new Samsung device is the Edge panels. It's the easiest way to get recently used apps and also have apps that you regularly use right at your fingertips, literally at the swipe of a finger. You can even customize apps that you often use in split screen mode to open together for faster productivity. There are other panels you can customize to quickly reach your favorite contacts, take a screenshot, retrieve text on your screen, make a GIF, and more. You can get your weather, tools, and dozens of other Edge panels which are available in the Galaxy Store. Your control panel reveals all your Android toggles and some Samsung exclusives like Secure Folder, where you can essentially create a secondary profile that's hidden from view from your regular home screen. Smart View, this is where you can mirror your phone to a TV, laptop, and other smart devices. With Samsung's recent partnership with Windows, there is a new Link to Windows feature which allows you to seamlessly transition from your phone to your Windows PC or tablet, and you can even continue calls and texts from your phone to another device. Then there is Samsung DeX, which when connected to your TV or computer, turns your phone into a PC with all your photos, documents, and apps available to use in a PC format while you're still able to use your phone like usual. You can connect wirelessly or via HDMI. Then there is your power options, media output, and device control, which is linked to your SmartThings app. When you go into settings, you have all your connections. Wi-Fi is reliable, Bluetooth never drops, mobile hotspot and NFC for contactless payments are also available, and call reception is excellent. Well, for the most part. Your notifications can be shown in brief or detailed pop-up view, and you can have it set to floating or smart pop-up mode. You can also further customize your notifications by enabling your camera or screen to flash to alert you of incoming notifications, as well as change the effects of your notifications by customizing your edge lighting, which is a more subtle and stylish way to announce your notifications. Android 12 does bring with it options for different color palettes for your entire phone system when you change your wallpaper. Currently, I'm running Oneui 4.0 and waiting on the 4.1 update, which should bring even more customization to the color palettes and system colors. Of course, there are also hundreds of themes to choose from the Galaxy Store if you want to jazz up your phone just a bit more. Also with Android 12, there are new privacy features which shows you which apps have access to your cameras and mics when you go into those apps. This gives you greater control to restrict or allow which apps you want to have that kind of access. Of course, Samsung's Knox security is one of the best in mobile security as well, so you should be secure either way. There is also digital well-being and parental controls where you can check on your kids with the Family Link app, monitor your screen time, and give yourself some much needed scolding for spending way too much time on your phone. Samsung has done an amazing job catering to the visually and hearing impaired. There is TalkBack, which provides spoken feedback for persons who cannot see the screen, and other visual enhancements for persons who can see but may be visually impaired, such as high contrast, large display, special fonts, and the likes. There is also visual assistance for those that are hearing impaired. This includes live transcribe, live caption, and you can even balance your audio to which side you might prefer it on, whether it be left or right. Of course, you can't really get away with some of the duplicate apps from Samsung. as they always include their own Samsung Notes app, Samsung Health, Samsung Music, Internet, Galaxy Store, and more. There are also some other notable apps that do come in handy from time to time, such as Samsung Pay, Samsung Pass, Smart Switch, Smart Things, Samsung Health, Samsung Members, and the revamped Samsung Global Goals app, which they made a big deal about during the S22 launch event. All in all, Oneui is a buttery smooth Android experience that packs a lot of features into a neat package. One of the main reasons why I would say you should go with the S21 Plus over the regular S21 is battery life. It's 800 mAh bigger than the S21. On a heavy day I could get around 8 hours of screen on time, and if I'm light on my usage, I'm sure I could push this to 9.5, nearly 10 hours. Charging is a basic 25 watt, and I got from 0 to 30% in half an hour. There is also fast wireless charging, if you could call it that, at 15 watts, and even reverse wireless charging, which isn't just a cool trick to show your friends when you're out, can actually come in handy. Backing up an amazing software experience is flagship performance. I'm using the Snapdragon 888 model of the S21 Plus, and this phone flies through your day-to-day tasks. Nothing is too heavy for this beast, whether it's multitasking, switching apps, or gaming. While it did get slightly heated after an hour-long gaming session, it's nothing like what I expected. You can run the most graphic-intensive games at practically max settings and not get so much as a stutter during gameplay. Game Launcher, which houses all your games and include Game Boost and other settings to improve your gameplay, is a mighty fine tool as well for all you mobile gamers. Even a year later, I've seen no slowdown in the performance from the S21 Plus. Listening to your favorite podcast, watching a movie on the S21 Plus is a joy. Whether you're connected to a Bluetooth headset or speaker, or just listening via the stereo speakers built into the phone, you can't go wrong. Now, the audio from the device itself isn't the best, but I would say it's probably top 5. Voices come through clear, mids are great, and the only thing it's really lacking is in the bass department. There are 3 mics on the device, and these work great for phone calls, recording audio, and even for video or blogging. Now, while my experience with the Samsung Galaxy S21 has mainly been a positive one, there were some hiccups along the way, all of which I'm happy to report has since been fixed with software updates. So there you have it, a comprehensive look at the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus 1 year later. I can't tell you that it's better than the S22, partly because I haven't gotten my hands on any of them just yet, but if you have an older Samsung like an S9 or S10, an S21 or S21 Plus would be a really good upgrade. You don't have to go for the absolute latest this time around. Thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed my review. Please feel free to leave your comments, hit the like button, and subscribe. Until the next one, be safe